Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited to be here. As you know, my name is Leslie DeShazor, but what you don't know is that I'm going to be joined by my two beautiful children, Davin and Alora. The first segment of the program, we're going to start off with Davin, who will be playing a few duets with me. Then we'll switch to Alora. She'll be playing a few more duets, and then we'll play together as a trio. And somewhere in there, I'll make sure that we make some time for questions. I'm really excited to be here to play for all of you. We're going to go ahead and start, and then I'll do some talking about the pieces that we are playing. I'm going to invite my son, Davin Adams, now to join me. This first tune is a tune written by Scott Joplin, one of America's greatest composers. And the title of this is called The Easy Winners. This was written to sort of talk about those athletes who can get up and do all kinds of incredible feats and win what looks like easily to us. So this is called The Easy Winners. So that was The Easy Winners by Scott Joplin. And this next tune we're going to play for you, I'm not going to introduce it. I'm going to tell you about it after we play it, because this is a tune that probably a lot of you have heard a lot, but maybe you didn't know exactly the history behind the tune. So there's some really interesting history behind this one. I also want to just mention before I forget, because I always forget about donations on these things because I'm so focused on the music. If you would like to donate, please consider donating to the riverfolksmusicandarts.org, or you can just click the donate button. Any donation is appreciated. So that was Ashokan Farewell. And that's a piece that a lot of people know because they heard it on television. This piece was actually written by Jay Unger, who is a very well-known fiddler, violinist. And he wrote this piece actually as a farewell tune for the camp that he and his wife used to run. And it was a waltz for the last dance of the camp, which any of you guys know who goes to summer camp, you know that these things can be very emotional when it's time to part. But the reason that this piece became so famous was because this tune was used in the Ken Burns miniseries Civil War. It was the title theme song. So a lot of people actually associate this tune with the Civil War and think that it's actually a tune that was written during that time. But actually, of the entire film score, this is the only piece that actually is not from that time. It's actually the most modern tune on the entire film score. So that's a little bit of background on Ashokan Farewell. It was written in 1982, obviously way after the Civil War. But it's a beautiful melody, and I haven't come across too many people who don't recognize it and don't love it. So that was Ashokan Farewell. The next tune we're going to do is going to be another Scott Joplin. This one was written actually in honor of Theodore Roosevelt's controversial speech back then called The Strenuous Life. And I don't want to get too much into the politics, but what's interesting is that Scott Joplin had a certain recognition of Theodore Roosevelt and his family because they actually invited Booker T. Washington to the White House. And so he actually dedicated a part of his opera to that particular momentous occasion, and it was called A Guest of Honor. And then in return, the Roosevelt's daughter actually had the U.S. Marine Band play the Maple Leaf Rag, which of course anyone who knows their history knows that at that time to have the Marine Band playing music made famous by a black composer was a really, really bold move. So that's a little history on that. And this is The Strenuous Life. All right, so that was the strenuous life, a little more strenuous than the easy winners. Actually, like to play it is a little more strenuous. So, although I have to say that anything Scott Joplin writes would be hard pressed to sound strenuous. To me, it always sounds so um, meant to be, sort of like just so well crafted. So that was some Scott Joplin, and now we're gonna completely change it up on you and go way back to the Baroque era and play some Vivaldi for you. I'm going to let Davin take a little break, and I'm going to take a look at the comments. I will make time to answer any questions that anyone has, and I'll look through and see if we have any questions. In the meantime, we're going to move on to Alora's section. She is 9 years old now. She turned 9 in June. The months have gone by very fast, even though we've all been just doing a lot of waiting. Again, thanks so much for being here. My name is Leslie DeShazor, and I'm being joined by my children, Davin and Alora. And we're really delighted to be here with Riverfolk Music and Arts Organization. If you would like to donate to the cause to support the artist, please donate at riverfolkmusicandarts.org, or you can just click the donate button. So we're going to start with a couple of really nice playful tunes. The first one is called Battle of the Tangerines. Right, so that was Battle of the Tangerines. It kind of reminds me of the it's kind of like a play on the March of the Oranges by Prokofiev. I wonder if that's kind of what the composer had in mind. That's actually a duet written by Jeremy Cohen, who's an educator and great violinist from San Francisco. He writes really great stuff for young players, which is really nice for us educators because we also get tired of the same repertoire. So that's one of his duets. The next one is also one of his duets. It's called Scratch My Bach. So Bach spelled like B-A-C-H, play on words, obviously. And you'll hear kind of the influence of Bach there if you're familiar with Bach. So this is Scratch My Bach. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll through. This is the time that I've dedicated for some questions. And I'm going to look and see if we have any questions and say hi to some folks. Oh, hi, Vanessa. I see some familiar people. Hello, Elaine and Belinda. And I'm looking to see if you have any questions. Just give me a moment here. Okay, so I don't see any questions, but um, I would like to tell you a little bit more about myself and my children. And if they want to say something, they're welcome to say something. Obviously, it's probably kind of interesting to be the child of musicians. I didn't grow up in a home where my parents were both musicians, so I'm not really sure what that feels like. But we do make a lot of music in this house. My husband's also a musician. He plays trumpet. And obviously the children, they play violin. There's a lot of practicing that happens, or forced practicing sometimes too, that happens in this house. But it really is fun to be at the point now where I can sit down with my children and like come grab a duet and sometimes just even sight read music together. I think sometimes they have fun. I'm not sure. I probably make it not so much fun sometimes because I'm really, really picky. Some of you guys know about me. I'm a freelancer here in Michigan and I work all over the country also. I'm a violist primarily, but I also play violin, and I like to sort of dabble in all kinds of styles of music, and you'll kind of hear that tonight with the repertoire that we have. I'm also an educator here in the city, mostly in the city of Detroit. I teach for the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, and I also teach for the Sphinx organization, and I also teach privately, so that keeps me pretty busy. And then, of course, I have my side hobbies like jump roping. So anybody who follows me on Instagram or Facebook probably sees a lot of me jump roping. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background about me. And did you guys want to say anything? They don't want to say anything, of course. That's okay. They don't have to. There's no pressure. All right, so we're going to move on to the next thing. I'm going to switch instruments here. And if you know this tune, definitely comment and let me know that you know this. I think almost everybody knows this tune. Oh, I see a question from Vanessa. It says, "This is so wonderful. Has brought so much light to my evening. I would love to know what has been the most rewarding part about transitioning to online teaching over these past few months." Wow, that's a good question. I think the most rewarding part about teaching online is seeing the diligence of the students. Because I know for them it's been really hard and really frustrating to have to suddenly switch to doing everything online and not see their friends, not be able to go to the mall or go to movies. I've got some kids who are very diligent. The ones who are in classes with me who just have to sign on to Zoom especially, their parents don't make them, a lot of them, and they come to class frequently. Some of them come 4 days a week. So that's actually been the most rewarding part, like just seeing how in the face of adversity, a lot of the students by choice are still choosing to get up every day, put on a shirt that looks nice. Of course, you don't have to worry about the lower body clothing these days, but they get online and they hang with me, and we have been able to actually explore some things that we haven't explored in the classroom. Having access to the internet and YouTube, I'm able to share a lot of music with them, do a lot of listening. We've done some games that are online, so there's been some nice things to it. That's a cool question. I like that question because it's something I haven't really thought about. I've just been grinding, trying to keep on top of things. But yeah, that would be the most rewarding, is just that diligence, seeing students still show up even when they don't have to. So now we're going to move on to our next tune, and I'll keep looking for questions in the comments because I really love seeing the questions. Being behind the screen, sometimes it feels a little empty because you don't see people's faces. So when I see the comments, it helps me feel your energy and your good vibes. All right, you ready? Too fast, not too fast. Okay, so that was Here Comes the Sun. That's a cool song. I think it's really fun. We're going to do our last portion with some trios, and I'm going to just look here and see if there are any other questions. This is a good one. What does Alora and Davin like to do? Alora, you can answer that question first.
Well, I like playing the violin a lot, practicing. I don't know, just anything.
She said just anything. Do you like cleaning your room?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to hold her to that. All right, Davin, what do you like to do?
I like sports, basketball, track. I rarely play football. Um, I like engineering, cars, and I kind of like the violin. I've been playing it for a while, so it's in my nature. But that's it.
All right. He said he kind of likes the violin. I'm not mad at that. At least he didn't say he hates the violin or he doesn't like the violin. Then we'd have some problems. All right. So let's look. We'll just check out and see before we start if there's any more questions. And I don't think we have any more. I don't see any more. Okay, so we're gonna move now into our trio portion of the concert. These arrangements are arrangements that I did because musicians out there, you know that there's a ton of arrangements for quartet and duet, and not a lot for trio, especially with certain styles of music. So this first arrangement you're going to hear is the song made famous and written by Bill Withers with the famous saxophonist Grover Washington, Just the Two of Us. It's kind of funny though we're calling it Just the Two of Us, because there's three of us, but that's the title of the song. So here's Just the Two of Us. Just make sure you're in the frame, Laura. Yeah, you're not in the frame. Move over.
All the way back up.
Move over this way. Move forward. There we go. Okay, see. Okay. You can't see though. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that was just the two of us. The next one I thought would be appropriate for Allure to take the lead on because it is made famous by the Jackson 5. This is young Michael Jackson in his very, very young years. The tune, I'll Be There. Switch. All right, so that was I'll Be There. I was just thinking as I'm listening to them playing, and just listening around how, for me, and I think for so many of us, we have always appreciated and loved the arts. And always had access to it, right? But now in this pandemic, suddenly a lot of things that we had access to have sort of been cut off or limited. And I often think when we're in turbulent times, how much I'm grateful for the gift of music, to be able to make music with my family, in limited ways to make music with my friends, but also to the internet is filled with things that we don't love, but the beauty of being able to stream online and be able to share with each other, even when we can't be near each other, is really something that I'm very, very grateful for. I'm going to just take a minute to look through the comments and see if there were any other questions. I do see one question about the blue scarf. So my scarf, actually, we were supposed to be coordinating our colors. They had decided on, well, Laura had decided on red and then blue, and then she went back to red, but I already had decided I was wearing this blue scarf. This scarf actually was made here in Detroit. It's like a silk screening, I think is what you call it, silk screening. Yeah, so I bought this at a shop down near Eastern Market that is only, I think in the shop there's only things that are made in Detroit or in Michigan, something like that. So that's the deal with the blue scarf. Just a little color accent. Yeah. And I'm trying to see if there's any other questions here. So we have time for one more. And I'm going to switch instruments here. And the next song doesn't really need a lot of introduction, but it's kind of there's kind of a funny story behind this one. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it's kind of funny. So this song is really, really popular by Stevie Wonder, called My Cherie Amour. And it was written, obviously, by Stevie Wonder. But originally, the song wasn't called My Cherie Amour. It was called Oh My Marcia. And it was written, obviously, for a girl he was in love with at that time. He named the song Oh My Marcia. So when you hear the song now, My Cherie Amour, if you hear Oh My Marcia, it does not ring nearly as well as this did. So that breakup was hard for him, but gave us a huge gift. So here is My Cherie Amour. And this is going to be our final piece. I want to thank all of you so much for being with us and watching and commenting and taking the time to spend your Thursday evening listening to us. And thanks again. Also, don't forget, if you would like to contribute, you can donate to riverfolkartsandmusic.org. I hope I said that right. Or you can just click the donate button. All right. Thank you all so much. I'm too close to the camera. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am really, really elated that you took the time to be here with us and listen to us. And I hope that you heard a lot of your favorite or music that you liked a lot. And please, continue to comment. Let us know what you thought and how you felt and all those things. All right. I feel like I see one more question. Let's see. Okay, I see one more question from Vanessa. Having gone through and still going through the difficult and trying times of social isolation, how do you think arts and culture, communities, organizations will emerge from the pandemic? In what ways do you think we will be different when we come out of this? Wow, that's a lot, Vanessa. One thing I think that I'm already seeing is that more artists are taking ownership and also taking the time to learn technology. So we're all becoming better at technology and more tech savvy. I wonder if we'll come out of this with a greater appreciation for in-person concerts. I also wonder if we'll come out of this having to pull people out of their houses to get them to come to a concert. So I'm not sure. I think a lot of us are probably pondering what it's going to mean for us in the future as well. But I've not really been able to process all of it. I do think that when we finally are able to come together again, we will have a greater appreciation for what we do, for even ourselves, for the time that we've taken to develop our own skills. I also think that organizations are being forced to kind of come out of comfort and really, really reach out to people in a different way than they ever have before. So I think that things will be better when we come out of this for the arts world. And I think artists will make better choices because they've had to sort of learn how to lean on themselves to figure things out, not just, the stagehands or the conductor or the lighting crew. I definitely will have, developed a greater appreciation for sound engineers and the people who work behind the scenes. So thank you for those thoughtful questions, Vanessa. There's a lot to process with what's going on right now. So with all of that, I really hope that this concert was good for you guys and meaningful and gave some light to your day. And I want to thank Eileen for inviting us to do this, and Riverfolk Arts and Music Organization for inviting us. And of course, I want to thank my children who've already run off. They're probably ready to get out of those dress clothes. But I'm really grateful for the ability to play with them and that they're willing to do this with me. Thank you all so much. And I hope to see you all in person in the near and not far future.